What's up everyone, it's Matt Mrozik, aka MVM397 with a video. I haven't done videos in a long time, but anyway, this came in the mail today and I figured a lot of people would be interested in seeing this. This is the Mechanicore 1/100th, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Tief Sturmer. It's a 1/100th deep striker. I have no idea what this means, but it's a 1/100th deep striker from Mechanicore. This thing's been in the works for 2 years, I think, was when they first kind of announced it. But it's finally out, and initially I hadn't planned on getting it, but because I thought it was expensive. But then I thought about it. Based on what you get and the price, I think it's very reasonable. Considering that if you want a 1/100, the only other option for a 1/100th deep striker is the G System kit, which is a resin conversion kit. Well, the resin conversion kit alone costs the same or more than this kit, and then on top of that, you have to buy a master grade XS Gundam, which you throw most of it away, and it doesn't look as cool. I think this thing looks just crazy over the top detailed, and from the initial dry assemblies I've seen, it looks really slick. And there's a couple people on Facebook that have been building it so far. And the guys over in Asia get it before the guys in the US get it. It looks like Mechanicore keeps improving with each release. So I was excited to get this. It's huge. I think the main cannon's over 1 meter long, so it's over 3 feet long. And to give you a sense of the size of this box, it's absolutely massive. Other than my, hold on one second, my air compressor kicked on. Sorry about that. Other than my 135 full resin XS that I have, this is the biggest box I've seen for a kit. And I've got a lot of kits. So this is the biggest by far, except for the 135 XS. So this box measures about 28 inches long. It is about 18.5 inches tall. And as far as how deep it goes, it's about 9.5 inches deep. The kit weighs quite a bit. I'm just see if it's on here. It was on the packaging, the outside box, but 6.65 kilograms. It's heavy. I mean, there's a lot of plastic in this box. So this is the first run, or the premium version. I don't know if you can see it, but limited here to 2,200 pieces. So they only made 2,200 limited or premium versions of the kit, and I'll go over what premium version means. Some may think it's a premium version, doesn't make, who cares? But so I got kit number, not sure if you'll be able to see this in the frame, 560. So out of 2,200 kits, I got number 560, which is not too bad. I'll take it. Packaging is real nice, as usual with Mechanicore. So you saw the front of the box. Again, this is just an artist rendition. This is not the actual kit. Here's the end of the box. You just saw with the sticker. This looks like a 3D rendering, not the actual kit. On the back, again, a 3D or artist rendition of the back of the kit. These photos here, I'm pretty sure are the 3D renderings. They don't look like the actual kit. If the actual kit looks like this, it's going to be really slick because these are really clean. Gives you some details about the kit as far as what they recommend, how many parts. This has over 1,700 plastic parts. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty insane. So a lot of parts. And then the other end of the kit, or the box, again, I'm not sure if these are renderings of the actual kit, but kind of goes either way. They look really clean to me, so that's what makes me believe they're renderings. But then they have LEDs on here, so this may be the actual kit. So I don't know if any of you've seen this, but it comes packed like a perfect grade. It's got a handle. I broke the tape earlier, but I have not taken this out of the box yet, so this is the first time I'm looking at it. So you open it up, and I know inside there's two separate boxes. There's an A and a B, and if anyone has ever built the 1/100 or 1/140 Dendrobium from Bandai. It's very similar. Let's turn this around so you guys can see it. I had to clear out my workbench to make room for this because I'm in the middle of several projects. I don't know. I've got so many projects going on right now. I've got a commission I'm working on and 2 commissions on at the same time. I don't know if I'm going to dare to try to work on this. I'm thinking if I really pushed it, I could probably have it done for Wonderfest this year, but I don't know. So anyway, 2 boxes, set A, set B. Let's take these out. And we'll go a box at a time. So I'm going to get this out of the way. And one of the things you get in the premium edition, as I see already, is a color poster. So that's right here. I'll take that out. So if you get the premium edition, you get this. Actually, it's a really nice poster. And it looks like it's only folded in half. You got a poster with the Zerstore kit, but it was folded up several times, and actually, it was once you put it up, it was had so many creases in it, it didn't look very good. I guess with some careful ironing, you could probably get those creases out, but this is actually a very nice poster. It's very thick, and only has 1 seam, so that's pretty sharp. That's pretty impressive. I think with maybe a terry cloth on a very low heat on the iron, you could iron that out, and this actually would be a very nice display piece of art. So I'm going to keep that safe because that may be something worth framing or something later. Alright, so like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at this, so this could go on for quite a while. So if you're interested in seeing this kit, stay tuned. Grab a beer, grab a 6-pack, who knows. So let's go through parts set A first. And if you give me a second, I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit. Since I had to zoom out so high for the big box. Let's come on down. Actually, I can't come down much further, can I? Anyway. It's part set A. Let's see what we got in here. So on my bench in this mess, I have a blade. Right there. Ow! That was my head hitting the tripod. As I said before, over and over again, I don't have the best setup for video. Ideally, I want to mount a camera permanently to the ceiling above my workbench. I just haven't gotten to that yet. I think that'd be really nice. That way I can just kind of flip it on whenever I'm working. So I don't have to like stop and make a video. I can just flip it on while I'm working and do a tutorial or a really quick work in progress video. Alright, let's just cut that open. And for those of you who are wondering how much this kit was, I bought it from HQO Parts on eBay, and shipped. It was for $4.35, something like that. I thought it was really reasonable. Now, ironically, they did raise the price about a week later, and I don't know why they did, but they did. All right, so this is part set A, or the box A, I should say. And first thing we come to, and there are some loose parts in here, and Jim and Boo, Gunpla Fixation, mentioned this in one of his videos, of one of the things that Mechanicore is doing wrong. Some of the gates are really small, so the parts fall off. So you just gotta be careful. And with there being so many parts in here, it would be easy to lose something. So like right off the bat, and the trays are numbered, they're not lettered, so this is tray 34. And another thing that they've been doing in the past few kits is they've actually protected the V-fin with a plastic liner, which is really nice because the first one, the Zerstore, it wasn't protected, and mine was broken. Luckily, I had the version that came with the metal tips, or the metal V-fin, so it wasn't an issue. I tell you what, the molding on this, again, each kit they produce is an improvement. This is sharper than the previous two. and there's a very slight texture on the flat plastic. I don't see that on these pipes. This is perfectly smooth. On these pieces right here, there's a slight texture, but by the time I'm done with this, it's gonna be flat coated anyway, so I don't care. But I think, you know, one thing Bandai does with their kits, they spend a lot of time on their molds. They go in there, you know, they make the molds, but then they go in individually by hand and they hand polish and they hand clean them up. They spend a ton of time on them. That's one reason Bandai kits are priced the way they are, because it's very labor intensive. But this looks really sharp. This is plate number 34. Looks like you get two of them, two 34, so I actually get two V-fins. And there are some loose parts in here, so I'm going to actually take these and put them on the side. So tray 34 looks like you got some of the piping details. You got the V-fin, you got the vents. Looks like bottom of feet detail right there. Who knows? With 1,700 parts, who knows what all this goes to? Beam saber blades, rather large for a 1/100 scale. That's more like a 1/60th scale, so big old beam blades, beam sabers. And here's the stand that everyone was worried about. And this is a very nice, durable, very thick plastic. I know a lot of people are concerned with the connection point, but I think they kind of resolved that. And they included some metal brackets. But this will look sharp. You could even light this up, actually. Really kind of cool. It wouldn't be too hard to light this up. It would be kind of a nice glowing effect. And here are so in that bag alone, these are all the parts that fell off. So 1, 2, 3, 5 parts fell off of that tree, of those trees. Okay, so in this bag we have, all right, this is where all like the goodies are. This stuff that's not normally with the plastic injected kit. It's actually packed very well the way they did this. So we have, in this bag, I'm not going to take open this bag. In this bag we got some poly caps. We've got clear lenses, green and yellow. We have the hands. So that's what's in that bag. In this bag we have screws. There's some metal machine parts for detailing, a couple little eyelets, metal rods. I'll give you some beads and pipes for detailing. I'm not sure if the holes, I'm assuming the holes will be pre-drilled for those since they supplied it. And then this tray, this is what's kind of really impressive. These are the metal brackets that they added on at the end to help support the kit. All the LEDs are in here. These are all pre-wired. These are not pre-wired. You have to assemble these with all the different thrusters. There's a very small fret of photo etch in there, which is nice. So this is packaged very well. I'm not sure what these are for yet, but there's a lot of them. These are all metal machine pieces. Packaged very well. Very nice job. Let me throw those back in the bag. And I probably won't do a Dave Star Shadow and go plate by plate. I think I can give you the general idea of what this kit consists of. Basically, it consists of a crap load of plastic. So again, let's open this up and see what this looks like. And if you've seen any of the guys building it just straight out of the box with no paint, it actually looks really, really sharp without any paint. When I build this, it will get painted because there's so much room for just going balls to the wall with detail. Alright, so this is tray 12. This is kind of like a nice taupe color. Again, not being real familiar with the kit, I can't tell you what these parts go to because I haven't even gotten to the instructions, and maybe in box B. But again, done very well. Again, there's that slight texture of the plastic, which I could care less about. It's not a big deal to me. But very nicely molded, very, very good detail. Alright, and you can tell these aren't in any order. This is plate 24, kind of a medium gray, warm gray. Again, done very well. Sharp, sharp details. I think that's going to kind of be the theme throughout this. Is basically they've done a very good job with the molding. The test will be how is the fit. And from what I've heard so far, the only complaint is that sometimes the fit's very tight. So you either have to loosen the female end or snip the male end. Well, I do that on Bandai kits anyway, because after you paint and prime, the tolerances are basically 0, so you have to do that. You get 2 of these plates. These are plate 22. So you get 2 of those. And I'm going to put these back in the bags as we go, just because I want to. That way, if any, like in that bag, a piece had fallen. There's a loose piece in that bag from that light tan plate. Here's some of the white pieces and the gray pieces. And again, some pieces have fallen off because the gates may be small, but I'm okay with that because that just means it's less cleanup. This is plate 23. Again, not in any order. Same as usual. Very well done. Now the texture in the plastic here seems to be a little more prominent. I don't know if you're picking that up in camera or not. See if I can move that around a little bit. But it looks like what it looks like is like a semi-gloss or a semi-matte finish. It's not super smooth and shiny. Alright, these are plates 11. Looks like you get 2 of those. What's interesting is that some of the texture is more prominent on other plates. Like on this plate, it's not as bad as on the previous plate. I don't know about you guys. I do know that when I'm working on a Bandai kit, the white plastic seems to be softer. So maybe when this gets injected into the mold, it kind of smushes out a little bit more and kind of smooths out more. I think that's just the nature of that plastic with the chemical makeup of it. This is plate 15. This is a very no, this white also, it almost looked off-white to me, but it's not. Again, I mean, really nice detail, super sharp. Look, I mean, there's tons of room in here for you could spend months masking and detailing the crap out of this thing. You could go insane, and I just might do that, do it justice. But I mean, you could go in there, paint all these little recessed areas, mask those off, paint the whole thing. Same with this piece. Really, really nicely done. It's interesting. This kit is kind of like what I imagine someone who would take either the scratch build up a deep striker, or some of those crazy Japanese model builders that just are scratch building maniacs, and they can take like the resin version and just go balls to the wall with detail, and just it's like that to me, but out of the box. They've done all that extra cool work for you. All right, so this bag is full of electroplated parts, which has thrusters in it. Let's see. This is plate number 3. This looks like to be maybe a main center area because there's a lot of pegs here for mounting pieces too. Again, the detail is superb, very sharp. I mean, I think this is going to build up really nice. And thank God they got away from the DVD instructions. When they first announced that with the Zer store, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I started to put the thing together. It takes forever because you have to pause and rewind, pause and rewind. Thank God they just went to a booklet. This is plate 33. Again, kind of that taupe color. Looks really good. Super impressed. So far, I haven't seen any really, really tiny pieces. There's a lot, there's just a lot. And here are all the plated pieces, and it's actually plated really nice. Unfortunately, more than likely, this will all have to get stripped and painted, depending on where the gates fall after assembly. But it's like a smoky gray chrome. Looks really good. I like it's not pure. It's not real bright. It's kind of a hint of smoke color to it, which I like. And then here are 2 trays of thrusters, identical trays. I mean, there's a ton of them. Look at that. And all those get LEDs. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So on these two trays alone, there's 30 thrusters. So that gives you an idea. Pretty cool. And as again, there's a piece that fell off in there. Not the end of the world. So if you're following along, you're probably on your second beer by now, I would assume. I'll probably be on my second beer, and this video seems like it's slowing down because haven't even gotten through the first box of parts. So if you're still with me, drink another beer. It may get more interesting. All right, last bag in this box. So we get the red parts, and they're actually not red, they're kind of pink, which I'm not a fan of. Now they'll go with this color will match the decals you get. Actually, it may look okay. I don't know. I'll have to look at the decals. But I get two trays of this. This is tray 31. Okay, hit the bottom of the feet right here. I was wrong on the other tree. Bottom of the feet, these look like shoulder parts right here maybe. These look like inserts for some thrusters maybe. No, I could be wrong. I have no idea. Again, I haven't looked at the instructions yet. Who knows? Only someone that's built this so far has looked at the instructions. Alright, tray 30. These two parts right here, the chest, obviously I can tell that. Looks really good detail. These go on the chest right here too. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm not sure if I'm in frame. Man, I don't know. I may have to snap this thing together and see what it looks like. Kind of getting the same feeling I had when I did the 1/60 Suzuki. It's like I'll just kind of start working on it, and then it turned into an obsession, and I just plowed through it. I'm kind of getting that same kind of strange sensation on this kit. I feel like if I start it, I'm gonna get obsessed. Plate 50. Again, I don't know what these are, but they're very nicely detailed. Again, there's that texture noticeable on the plastic. And I keep saying this, I don't care. It's going to get painted anyway and flat coated, and then I'll go away. So that does it for box A. So if you'd like to take a small break, press pause and take an intermission while I box this back up, and we'll go to box B. And I can only assume box B has as many bags of runners as this box did, because they're both very heavy. So the main question is, will I get this all back in here? Because you guys know how it is. Once you take something out, it never goes back in. But I'm kind of paying careful attention to how these were bagged, so you should go in no problem. So far, so good. All right, let's throw these back in here. Stand out, get the saver out, and that's it. Oh look, I got it all back in, and it will close. Golden. All right, box A done. Let's go to box B. More plastic. Oops, bump my tripod. Make sure. Still kind of in frame here. Yep, should be good. All right. Again, I'm zoomed out pretty far on this, guys, just because the boxes are so big. I think Dave said he's going to do an unboxing when he gets his, and he'll probably go tree by tree like he normally does. So if you want a really good detailed view of all the trees, I'm sure Dave will do that. I just don't do that. I don't have the patience for it. When I do unboxings, it's basically to give you a basic idea of what you're getting yourself into if you get any kits. So, all right. So other part of premium edition. This is kind of what you get. Cut these. So what they include for the premium edition. Hold on, let me get so you can see, because you get the decal set. This kind of pinkish camo decal set, which are very nice actually. You get a metal V-fin. You get 2 metal beam hilts, which is kind of nice, beam saber hilts. What else is in the premium? You get the V-fin, the hilts, the decals. Oh, and the poster. The poster was the other premium edition goodie. So my guess is if you don't get the premium edition, yours will come like this, won't be in there, and you'll just receive this, which is the instruction booklet and the decals. So I think what I'll do, yeah, I'll go ahead and open up some of these bags. I'm not going to go through all the trees on this one. I think you get a really good idea through that first box of trees of parts what you're going to get, what you get, and the quality. I think the quality, just looking at it, is phenomenal. I mean, done really, really nice. If I didn't know better, I would say this was done by Bandai. The only thing that would give it away would be the texture of the plastic. Some leg parts. This is part of the crotch right there. Some of these parts I recognize. Some of the parts that are part of the, oops, there goes the part. Legs, outside of the legs, here's some leg internals. Right there. Again, very nicely done. You can see right there, that's the part that just fell off. Very well done. Alright. What I really want to do is get through the instruction booklet and kind of look at that. So that'll give you a really good idea of the kit also. I'm going to put those away. Let's see. I'm going to open up this bag because it's got some fairly large pieces that go to the deep striker part. At the very bottom there's a bunch of the similar trees there. It looks like they're all thruster parts. So, and in this bag there's 3 or 4 trees that are exactly the same too. It's not wanting to come out. Can't hook on all the other trays. Alright. So this tree right here, my right hand, is tree number 10, and you get 5 of those. There's 5 of these in there. That's pretty insane. No, 4 of those. Sorry, 4. But still, that's a lot. And these all look like, these go inside the thrusters, like the liners. I think these are all thruster parts. Yeah. So the thrusters, like where the wires are going to come into, and these all get separate batteries. I think you need like 54 individual batteries to make this thing work, which is kind of crazy. So I think Gunpla Fixation, Jim and Boo, had mentioned that that's like one thing they were doing wrong, and I get it. I think they probably could have figured out a way to do it otherwise, so then the cost would have gone up considerably. So I think it was just easier for them to include the standalone thrusters rather than trying to engineer a circuit and all this stuff. This all goes part of the deep striker. So I'm not going to keep looking at parts. To me that gets boring after a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this box out of the way and I'm going to open up the instruction booklet and bring the camera down and go through that with you real quick because this video is getting pretty long. But I think that gives you an idea, going through that first box and part of this box, of what the quality is. 9 out of 10, I'd say it's a good 9. A solid 9 as far as quality goes. Can't say anything about the fit yet because I haven't tried it, but let me bring the camera down a little bit. Sorry for the shaky camera. I always say, a videographer, I am not. So if you've been drinking beer, please watch this. If you're drunk, sorry, don't throw up. That's all I gotta say. Alright, now let me get it framed back up here. Oh, I'm coming down more. I'm coming down way more. Of of you who are wondering when the next part of the 135XS will be uploaded, I don't know. My goal was to start working on it beginning of this year, but I want to get through, pretty far on these other commissions before I dive into that. Alright, I can come down even more. Sorry. Please stay tuned while we adjust the camera. Alright, let's see. Maybe that'll work. This way it'll be close enough to see what's going on. Okay. Sorry about that. That took so long, but again, my video setup sucks. First of all, let's look at what you get with the premium edition. Okay, like I mentioned, you get these decals. You get the metal V-fin and the middle hilts for the beam saber. And there's instructions on how to throw the batteries in there. No batteries included. No biggie. Very nice set of decals, all pre-cut. I'm not sure if I want to open these. So one thing they have been kind of pushing is that these will not be for sale later. Well, Mechanicore may not sell these later, but I guarantee you someone will make them and sell them later. Samuel Decal or someone will get a hold of this file and scan them and make their own. Maybe they'll make them in red instead of pink. But I don't know. Maybe they'll do the kind of the pink. It looks kind of cool. That's a lot of decals right there. So that's premium edition. Regular edition. So we got our decals and instruction manual in here. So, and it's a book. It's on par with the 135XS, which is a book. And there's a nice big set of decals, which I love doing decals. Decals are my favorite part of the process, and there's a lot. All pre-cut. Let me get a little shine on. You see all pre-cut. So very nice. The text is very sharp. No half-toning issues. Looks good, and it's all in English. And that makes sense. There's no spelling mistakes or like weird Japanese interpretation. Sometimes you get decals and you're like, what the heck does that say? Sometimes it's just random letters, and sometimes it's English. Yeah, it's a nice manual. Very nice, thick book. Alright, on the back, here's some specs. So 1/100th, here's the Tief Sturmer. Tief Sturmer. I don't know if that's German. Overall height is 557 millimeters. So 55.7 centimeters. That's almost 2 feet tall. That's pretty big. That's with it on the stand. Head height from the end of the lower booster pack is 277 millimeters, almost a foot. Height of the head height from the end of the propellant tank. It basically is giving you all these different dimensions. Body depth is 489 millimeters. Overall length of the main cannon, that's the big one, 755 millimeters or 75.5 centimeters. So 32 centimeters to a foot. Yeah, it's about 3 feet long. It's pretty big. Let's see. Again, it just gives you the weight. Gives you all the number of like plastic pieces and stuff you get. Basically just giving you all the specs of what's in the kit, which is kind of nice. Alright, this thing is out getting a glare. Alright, so we open up and we get a parts. I'm going to come down even further, so we can just go page by page real quick. Sorry guys. If you want really cool looking videos, watch Jim and Boo's channel or Dave. If you want just boring informational videos, watch mine. Oh man. I suck at making videos. Big time. Tripod is not wanting to cooperate right now. Come on. We'll get there eventually. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, you're still watching. I know. Oh my gosh, this sucks. I think my tripod basically just broke on me. One of the legs isn't wanting to work. And for as much as one of these things costs, about $2 grand, the tripod I'm using, it should work. Alright, well that's better. Alright, now back to your previously scheduled programming. It's kind of semi-straight. Alright, so first page is a parts list, layout, the different runners. So here we see we get one runner of this, of the base each. Tray 3, or runner 3 you get 1. Runner 4 you get 1. Runner 5 you get 1. Runner 6 you get 1. All these you get 1. 1 through 9 you get 1 runner of. Come over here to runner 10, you get 4 of those, like I mentioned. Those are all the thrusters. Runner 11 you get 2. Runner 12 you get 1. Runner 13 1. Runner 14 1. Runner 15 1. Runner 16 1. 17 and 18 are all 1. See, runner 19 you get 2. 20 you get 1. 21 you get 2. Runner 22 you get 2. 23 and 24 you get 1. Runner 25 you get 4. These are all the thrusters, or part of the thrusters. Runner 26 you get 1. 27 1. Whew, lots of runners, man. 28 1. Sorry, 2. 29 1. 31. 31 you get 2. Runner 32 you get 2. Runner 33 you get 1. Runner 34 you get 2. Runner 35 you get 2. Runner 36 you get 1. And then here are the polycaps, the clear lenses, your photo etch, the beam sabers. Here is everything that was in that really nice packed tray. You have these metal parts, your LEDs, your metal brackets, pre-wired LEDs. Okay, so batteries. Let's see how many batteries we need. Okay, oh. Well, for SR41s we need 34. For AG9s we need 6. For CR927s we need 12. CR1220s we need 1. Lots of batteries. It sounds like a lot, but you can actually get these really cheap on Amazon. I buy them, like the ones that go on the Bandai lights. I think you can get like 20 of them for like $5. Go on Amazon, they're cheap. Don't go to Fry's. You'll spend $9 on one. And then we have, the decals in the manual. Basically, they're covering their butt here as far as like, after you buy it, check it, make sure everything's there, make sure nothing's broken, yada yada yada, in English, then in Chinese. And now we get into some instructions. So, and these look really nice. So we get a 3D rendering of the part you're working on. We get a really nice color map of what to do. So basically the brown line is you do that first, the red lines you do second, the orange lines you do third, the green lines you do fourth, and the blue lines you do fifth. So that's very helpful. I wish they kind of did it in resin kits. Some resin kits do that, but they don't tell you. They'll give you different color lines, but they don't tell you which color to do first. So it's very nicely done as far as that goes. Is basically, this is the order you should do the assembly in. Let's see if I can come down even further. Let me get a close up of this. So like right here we have assembling of the head. Let me tilt up a little bit so I can get away. So here's the head, and that's 3 steps. That's actually pretty good. I mean, that's on par with doing a Bandai kit. Some of the parts are small. We have right here, there's like a plug for the LED. There's some photo etch parts in here, these really small ones. Some of those metal electroplated parts go on the head. I mean, it looks really sharp. Look at that. Nice job on that. And then here's the chest. And none of this is like designed to transform, obviously. You know, like the XS transforms, but Deep Striker does not. So that's the head and the chest. Not many steps there. This is like the big honking crotch. That's what I'm going to call it. The big honking crotch. 2 steps. 3 step. Here's the waist and torso. Here's that main center section that the whole body mounts onto. This looks like where the pre-wired LEDs go into here. A couple of plugs that go up to the batteries. Again, looking at the instructions, they're done really well, and it's not as intimidating as looking at the parts are. It's like putting together a Bandai kit. The main difference is it's kind of like instructions for a Bandai kit and instructions for a resin kit. There's a lot of things to do on one step. Where like in a Bandai kit, they may have you put like 5 parts on. Here they're having you put 20 parts on in one step. But it's, you know, it looks manageable. It doesn't look like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. Which it probably will. There's a lot of parts. The other thing I'm curious to see is how they handled seam lines on some of the cylindrical parts. Curious to see how they handle those, if there's a lot of seams or not to fix. But these are looking really good. Nicely done. Tons of detail. I mean, this right here, this spot right here, it's like landing gear. It is. I mean, it's crazy detail. It's insane. All right, here they give instructions on how to wire all these LEDs that go into the thrusters. Basically, it's rinse and repeat. Do it over and over again. But that's how you do it. And the LEDs are like a twist on, so you get it all together. You twist it, it makes contact, it turns on. You twist it the other way, it breaks contact, and they turn off. Looking good. Yeah, it's really nice. Good job on the instructions. I'm impressed. Now this page is pretty insane. We're starting to get in the big cannon area where this big honking cannon goes together. This page right here is just tons to do. This page looks a little overwhelming, but I don't think it's that bad. Alright, so here is the big old cannon. Now, looks like they handled the seam pretty good. There's a seam that goes right down the barrel, but it's detailed very nicely on top, so you don't see the seam. Good job. So you don't have to deal with that freaking seam. Because one thing about doing kits with lights and stuff is if there's seams, you have to build it, fix the seam, and then worry about how you're going to mask off your wiring and stuff. Because a lot of times once it's together, you can't wire it. There's a big seam right here. I'm not sure that gets covered up or not. We'll see in the preceding pages. And there's an amendment already to the instructions right here. Excuse me. Looks like this happens on steps. Well, there's different steps. There's an amendment to step 9.3, 12.6, 15.3, and there's actually an amendment to the head. So they found a few little errors in their manual after the fact. No big deal. As long as you were paying attention and you know that, maybe you can go through the instructions and mark those amendments on the book before you start building, just so you know to reference that. Or if you're having trouble like, why isn't this working? Go back and look for the amendments. This looks really good, guys. So if you're wondering if you should get one, I'd say save your pennies or bite the bullet and charge one and get it, because I have a feeling this is going to sell out very fast. And when they do, the price is going to go up, because this is just really, really cool. It looks really sharp. So here's an arm assembly. Doing the arm. Alright, I'm gonna speed up just a little bit because we're getting this video's getting pretty long. I'm getting bored, and I'm the one making it. But I'm sure Dave will do a 1 or 2 part video. He does a really good job of unboxing because he goes through very thoroughly and in really good detail of each tray or each tree and the instructions, and